Drew says in Atlanta. Hi, Drew. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey Dave, how's it going?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
So basically, I was just wondering what the best way to allocate my current income is in terms of investing. I'm investing in a 401k, building up my checking account amount, but I also have $550,000 in a brokerage account as a result of some good investing from an inheritance over the last about 14 years. So I just want to know if I'm doing the right things, putting my money towards the best investment possibilities right now.
Okay. So you inherited $550,000?
I inherited about 280 back in 2007, so
Oh, okay.
it's just built up.
And you've had it invested in what?
Mutual funds and stocks, about 75 mutual funds and or 75%, and then the rest in stocks.
Okay. And how old are you?
24.
Okay. Good. Well, I don't play single stocks. There's too much risk for me. And I buy two things for investing. And I don't recommend people do things that I don't do. That would be hypocritical. And so I buy real estate that I pay cash for as an investment. In other words, income producing real estate. And I buy mutual funds. Single stocks, more than 10% of your portfolio in single stocks is too much risk for me because I don't like losing money, and the numbers on playing single stocks are not that good for the individual.
Yeah.
So if I woke up in your shoes, I would move that money into good mutual funds with a good SmartVestor Pro, and I wouldn't use a brokerage account. And I think you'll end up doing better in the long haul. It'll be a lot more boring, but boring is good as far as I'm concerned. Exciting means there's a chance I'm about to lose some money, and I don't like exciting. So, so that's what I would do with that money. And then, what do you make a year?
60,000.
Okay. And what I would do is just go about living my life as if that money isn't there. And it sounds like that's what you've done so far.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. And are you married? Do you own a home or anything like that?
No, none of that.
Okay. Well, I would make sure you had no debt and that you're putting 15% of your income away for retirement and that you're growing your career and that you're living intentionally on a budget. Now, I would use some of that 550 out of those mutual funds to pay cash for my first house when you're married and get ready to do that, or when you just decide you're going to buy a house. And there's no rush in that. You're 24. If you didn't buy a house for 2 or 3 more years, it wouldn't be that big a deal.
Yeah.
And so, let that money grow and sit there, and you're paying cash for everything. If you can learn to live as if that money's not there, except for the fact you pay cash for a house later, that's going to cause you that's going to take this pile of money and make it tens of millions.
Yeah.
Because you got 40 plus years for this money to parlay. And if you're invested in good mutual funds and making 10% or so, that money's going to double about every 7 years.
Yeah.
And so 7 years from today, when you are 31 years old, you'd have $1.1 million.
Yeah.
7 years later,
Yeah.
when you're 38, you would have $2.2 million. 7 years later, when you're 45, you'd have $4.4 million.
Good gracious.
And that's if you don't mess with this, and it just sits there in decent mutual funds and grows at a decent rate.
This is.
And so, again, you pull some of that out, you buy a house with it, then you take what was going to be a house payment and invest that, you'll end up in exactly the same place.
Yes.
You just used your own money, and now you're putting your money back in the form of a payment. And as your career goes on. So this money, literally, you should be worth over $10 million when you hit retirement as a result of this. So very, very nice gift as an inheritance, and you will be one of those millionaires that are a millionaire because of an inheritance, which, by the way, is a very unusual thing statistically, and a wonderful gift from whoever did a great job with money in the last generation that left it to you. Pretty cool situation.
Man, I'm sitting here just going over the numbers in my head, Dave. Like, Drew, if he does the right thing today, the caliber of his future is so bright. If he just sits there and act like the money is not there and he's continuing to put money into it, he's just adding fuel to a positive fire for his future.
And guess what? there's a high probability he's going to do that.
Yeah.
And there's two indicators of that.
Yep.
One is he was probably raised or influenced by whoever did this the first time and left him the money.
Yep.
And two, we know that because he's had this money
Yeah.
for a while and has doubled it already.
And three, he called in and asked us,
Yeah, he
what's the
didn't,
right way.
he didn't go buy a Lamborghini.
Yep. Yep. And which I got to say, I'm surprised, for a 20-something sitting on
No,
that
I'm
much
not.
cash.
I'm not surprised because he was raised by the people that did that. And so, so the rule is for your parents then, your grandparents then, and I'm talking to myself as well, Legacy Journey book is more is caught than taught. Your main inheritance is knowledge and character. And if you leave them money without knowledge and or character, you will raise a kid in a reality show. But if you leave them character and knowledge without money, they will get money.
Yep.
But if you leave them character, knowledge, and money, now you've changed your family tree.
Yes, sir.
And that's what's happened with Drew. Don't you just sense he's mature beyond his years?
Absolutely. That's why I'm like, man, if I'm just excited for his future.
Yeah, I think he's in great
this
shape.
is